Hello, everybody.
Dana Oswald versus Mark Stephen Page II, 237553DS. This is show cause and alleging contempt on behalf of Mr. Page. Mr. Page appears via the Zoom application. Ms. Oswald is in the courtroom. Will both parties please raise their right hands?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Before we delve into this, again, please don't mention the child's name. As I understand it, Ms. Oswald is claiming that father denied her the parenting time for the child's birthday.
Supposed to get her from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. this year.
Denied giving my daughter to me on Saturday, November 16th, 2024 for her birthday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Denied phone calls, ignored my calls, refused to even open messages and app close until the next day. And you state there was no verbal agreement of him keeping her.
I had no verbal agreements. I had no agreements in the app, on Facebook, Snapchat, or Facebook Messenger.
Okay, so your understanding then, according to the current parenting time order, was that you were supposed to have the child on the 16th for those 8 hours.
Yes, sir.
12 hours, actually.
Yes.
Ms. Schultz, is that the understanding of the front of the court regarding the order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh. Mr. Page?
Yes, sir.
How do you respond to this, sir?
I responded to this by stating that I was only doing pretty much what was done for the order because the previous year beforehand, I did not get to see my daughter for her birthday per Mrs. Oswald because she had me on the do not release list for my daughter's school. I was supposed to be able to pick my daughter up from school to celebrate her birthday with her, and because Ms. Oswald had me on the do not release list, I was not able to see my daughter for her birthday.
That was last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where's the court order saying that you have the child on Saturday, November 16th from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
It was a verbal agreement between me and Mrs. Oswald that because I wasn't able to see my daughter on her birthday last year, I could have her this year.
Okay, so you're claiming a verbal agreement between the two of you?
Yes, sir. There was a verbal agreement on Facebook Messenger, but because she tried to use my Facebook against me, I blocked her from my Facebook because she took me to court over a Facebook post previously before.
Okay, so the Facebook Messenger, are you talking about use of the Facebook phone feature, or is this texting back and forth?
Like a messenger, like the Facebook Messenger, like that goes with Facebook.
Okay, so it's not a verbal agreement then. It sounds like a written agreement.
Yes.
Do you have that with you?
It was also discussed over the phone between me and Ms. Oswald.
Okay, well, she denies that, but do you have the Facebook Messenger post summarizing what you just stated?
I do not, because I blocked her off of my Facebook because she also tried to use a post of my Facebook by constantly looking on my page and trying to use my social media against me.
Okay, but if you blocked her though, you should still be able to grab that message, wouldn't you not?
No, sir. Once you block someone on Facebook, it deletes everything that you have in contact with them.
Okay. Okay, well,
I'll gladly hand my phone to you, sir.
well, you don't need to, because frankly, a verbal agreement is not worth the paper it's written on. And I mean no disrespect by that, but we need to have something in writing to indicate that. There's nothing in the record to indicate that there was some sort of written agreement. I'm not taking one word over the other, but verbal agreements, again, they don't hold water with the court unless there's more to it. Recording, something. Someone else heard the conversation. Nothing. As a result, I find the defendant in contempt for failing to provide the child to mother for her scheduled time. Mr. Page, two wrongs don't make a right, but is there anything you'd like to say before the court imposes disposition?
Why would, if that's the case, Your Honor, why should she be able to get her 2 years in a row if she prevented me from being able to see my daughter last year? That's not fair to me at all. That doesn't
Well-
sound like 50-50 custody in my eyes, if that's the case, Your Honor.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but court orders are court orders. Those have to be enforced.
She was also invited to the party, but because she doesn't want to communicate with me at all, like as I've been extending multiple olive branches to Miss Oswald, trying to better our relationship for our daughter, that like it doesn't make sense to me. Like she's constantly making it difficult to communicate when I'm constantly extending olive branches trying to communicate about my child. She
Well,
wants to
let's
continue
talk
to make
about,
it an issue about everything else other than talking about my daughter. Every time I try to communicate with Miss Oswald about my daughter, she manages to bring my girlfriend and her children into the conversation when that's not what we're talking about at all.
okay, so let's talk about communication for a second. Attached to the motion is basically the history on app close, where it appears Ms. Oswald is trying to reach you and it's canceled, canceled, canceled. No response, no response. Messages sent, no response. The next day on the 17th, then you respond at 8:49 in the evening, which is nearly 24 hours from the time that mom was supposed to have the child. So it kind of cuts both ways.
I understand that, but as far as communication wise, me answering wouldn't cause anything but issues because from the very start of that morning, she was messaging my mom, harassing my mom, messaging me continuously, knowing that our daughter was with me, knowing that my daughter has been talking about her birthday party since February. Miss Oswald has known this is supposed to happen since February. There was no denying then, there was no arguments about it then, and we've been to court multiple times since then. She said nothing about it. She's like that's the
Paige,
part
all
that
I
I
can
don't understand.
suggest to you is next time get it in writing so that there's no issue. I turn
Yeah,
back to the front court. Has there been,
The
been
cops were
previous-
there. Like she literally called the cops on me on my daughter's birthday, attempting to ruin my daughter's birthday, and the cop even said it did.
I had the Canton Police Department go for a wellness check on my daughter because of the factor of the inability to communicate back with me as to what was going on that day.
well, I'm moving forward with this. Ms. Schultz, have we held either party previously?
We have, the court has found Mr. Page in contempt previously, but not as it relates to the parenting time schedule. It was related to a communication,
Okay,
legal custody complaint for cutting these hair.
okay. Who is the child next year for birthday?
It's supposed to be him.
May I suggest, Your Honor, because we do have, friend of the court policy is like for life when there's makeup parenting time awarded to a parent. So if it's a weekend, you get a weekend back. If it's a holiday, you get a holiday back. But we do have the Christmas breakup coming in 2 weeks. I would ask the court to consider just having the child return the full day early.
How do you feel about that?
She starts the winter break with me, so she already is with me from when school lets out on that Friday until 10 a.m. on Christmas morning. So if that were the case, when would I have to give baby to him?
10 a.m. on Christmas morning. What I had said is, I believe what the court intends to do is award you 1 day of makeup holiday parenting time. And so Mr. Page has the second part of Christmas break, which is 10 a.m. Christmas Day until 6 o'clock the Sunday before school resumes. I don't know with the school schedule what day they will back, the 6th of January. So I would recommend that the court order that she be returned the morning of January 5th.
How do you feel about that?
I'd be okay with it, but then my question is who gets her next year for her birthday? Because he destroyed a bunch of plans that I had. I was gonna take her down to the circus, the Soul Circus down in Detroit.
Well, pursuant to the previous order, he would have birthday.
So I
Like
don't
said,
get her for her
I
birthday.
would have no problem
2
with
years
her
in a
getting her
row.
birthday for next year and just literally swapping the birthdays. That way it makes it even again for both of us. Why not just do that? That would be
Sounds like dad wants to give up birthday and give birthday to mom.
For next year,
Like,
or
what I'm saying is like how she was able to have her last year and I had her this year. If she just gets her next year, that would make things even as far as birthdays. I don't understand why there has to be extra.
May I make a statement.
Let me hear
So
from
the
Ms. Schultz.
proposal would be to switch so that Mr. Page has even numbered years and Ms. Oswald has odd numbered years for the birthday holiday. Correct.
Is that what you're saying, Mr. Page?
Yes, like with the fact that we've already had her once prior to previous birthday that just passed. She had her the one before. I had her this year. She can have her next year for her birthday. That's why I don't understand what the issue is and why we're even here. If Ms. Oswald would communicate with me about it, this could have been avoided completely.
Well, okay, but so you're offering next year for birthday. What about the year
Yes.
after that?
Then it comes back to me. Like I'm literally just saying we could switch years on the birthdays. That's all I was.
So
That's all I was.
even an odd would swap.
Yeah,
May I make a
that's all I was
statement?
putting out there.
Sir?
Go ahead.
So last year, the reason why he didn't get her,
We don't need to worry about last year. Let's focus on moving forward. I've granted your motion. And I want to know from you, what are your thoughts about having birthday next year?
so that means she'd be returned to me in the morning on a Sunday.
I don't know when her birthday is.
It would fall on a Sunday next year.
Okay.
I'm already supposed to get her back at 6 p.m. Where is the equalization of timeframes? Because I had,
You getting her?
like I said, I had a bunch of things planned and she knew about them
A bunch of things planned for when?
for her birthday this year.
Okay, well, I
called
can't,
here,
I
so-
can't turn back time. Do you want, what do you prefer? Do you wish to have the child for her birthday next year? Or do you wish to have one day added to the Christmas parenting time?
I'd rather have her for her birthday.
So you'd have her for next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, is that then a permanent change to the holiday schedule birthday?
That's what I want to make sure of. So we would be then, you would have next year for birthday. He would have the year after that, continuing to alternate. Does that work for
Yeah.
you?
I'm
gonna
I'm
have
okay
to-
with that, Your Honor.
That's what the court will order. The court is also going to order a $100 fine. Mr. Page is to pay the fine by January 3rd, 2025.
No
And
problem.
the court. Okay. So that's how we'll proceed forward. Ms. Schultz will prepare the appropriate order. Again, I can't stress enough to both of you, we had the chance to meet this child a while ago, and I know she was excited about her birthday. And let's move forward, and parties need to communicate. That'll be all. Thank you. Off the record.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.